Almost every cuisine in the world has rice pudding, and the Indian rice pudding is quite popular. But today I'm going to show you a rice pudding that's not made with rice. Instead, it's made with vermicelli pasta. And now you might wonder how vermicelli pasta is part of Indian cuisine. I don't know, but somehow, either from China or Italy, vermicelli came to India and has been a part of Indian culture, especially in South India, for hundreds of years. So I'm reading this book called The Emperor's Table, and in this book they talk about all the foods that emperors loved. And the last emperor who ruled India, before being killed by his own son, requested this dish because it was a favorite dish. It's a sad story, but due deference to the past, vermicelli pudding is very popular. It's called Ksheer Kurma. Ksheer in Sanskrit means milk, and Kurma in Persian means dates. So here I have the ingredients: about 2 cups of whole milk. I have some ghee or clarified butter. I have some vermicelli pasta, some slivered almonds, cane sugar, saffron, and a little bit of salt. I have some Medjool dates that I have pitted and chopped, and finally I have some black raisins. So first thing that you do to make this vermicelli pudding is add a couple of tablespoons of ghee. And you see, when I add ghee, the moment it touches the hot pot, the ghee melts and looks like oil. When the ghee has been added, I would add vermicelli because we want to slightly roast it. It will take about 3 or 4 minutes to roast it. Along with it, I'm adding some slivered almonds, and you have to constantly stir it. Cooking vermicelli is like raising kids, I heard. Once you stop paying attention, they will grow on you or they'll burn. And vermicelli is exactly like that. So this process takes about 2 or 3 minutes, and you have to pay attention. Please do not go anywhere and keep constantly stirring this. So I've been cooking vermicelli for about 3 or 4 minutes, and this is how you can see it turns a little golden brown in color. And now at this point of time, I'm going to add sugar, just 1 pinch of salt because salt will enhance the flavor, and some saffron. And while I'm mixing all of this, I want to tell you a short story about saffron. So a few years ago, I was in Kashmir, which is the northernmost part of India, and that's where all the saffron comes from India. And 70 or 75,000 flowers are plucked, mostly by women. The stamens are removed and dried, and that's how you get 1 pound of saffron. And that's why saffron is the most expensive spice in the world. It ranges around $3,300 a pound. And now I'm going to add some hot milk that I've been heating on the side. Make sure you add it carefully. And once all the milk has been added, I'm going to cook it for about 35 minutes or so on low heat. And as the milk and pasta cook together, you will see that the pasta absorbs all the milk and it starts to thickening. The beautiful thing about this recipe is, unlike any other rice pudding, this recipe requires no eggs. It's completely vegetarian and it's very easy. So I'll see you guys in about half an hour. So it has been exactly 30 minutes, and you can see that the vermicelli has soaked up a lot of the milk. And don't worry, as it keeps cooking or it stays warm, it'll keep soaking all that milk. So at this point of time, I'm going to turn the gas stove off and add all of the raisins. And you can see these black raisins form an exact contrast to the white vermicelli. And you want to break the dates and the raisins. Just make sure they don't form any lumps. Mix it. And the reason I'm adding these nuts in the end is because I don't want them to melt. I want you to taste the bites of dates and raisins. And as long as it stays warm, these dates will soak up all of the milk. And very soon this will be done. You can see that the vermicelli has soaked even more milk. When the milk has cooled down a little bit, you must add a little bit of rose water if you can find it. So I'm adding a teaspoon of rose water. It adds the extra rose perfumey flavor. And here I have some organic dried rose petals. And I'm sure when you add this, the emperors would love it. So this is something to add. I'm going to stir it. It smells of rose. It's beautiful. And now is the best part for any cook. I'm going to taste it. And if it requires a little bit of salt or sugar, this is the time you add it, because remember, anything that goes out of your kitchen has to be perfect. It's really good. It's very creamy. The pasta has absorbed a lot of the milk. It has a nice hint of rose, also a little bit of hint of saffron. I think it's perfectly done.